Hello everyone, Gausa on this side. So today hand we are dealing with a topic called as buoyancy. Okay, so let's get started. Now, here we are dealing with the first thing first called as definition of buoyancy. Here it is the upward force. It is the upward force applied by the fluid on the object. So the upward force applied by the fluid on the object or the body when an object is put in or submerged in the fluid. Okay? Again, the upward force applied by the fluid on the object or the body when an object is put in or submerged in the fluid. So basically, buoyancy is the force that causes the object to float. Or if I will be going for one single word definition, it is the buoyancy is the force that causes object to float. Buoyancy is float. Okay, deal with. It is a force exerted on an object that is partly or wholly immersed in a fluid. Now, dealing with the density word. So here, what does density means? This is somewhat physical term, but still for being a biologist, we all should know this. So an object whose density is greater than that of a fluid which is it is submerged will tend to sink. So somehow whatever the object you are using, if the object is having much more density as compared to the fluid in which it is getting submerged, the object will sink for sure. For example, a stone. If you are throwing a stone in a river, ultimately the stone has to sink because the stone is having higher density as compared to the water. And if the object is having either less density or same density, or hopefully it is shaped appropriately, just like in the boat, that is what we call as a spindle shape. So here the force will keep the object afloat. Surface tension also plays an important role here, but still the force can keep the object afloat. So either the object is having less density as compared to the fluid in which it is getting submerged, or the object is shaped appropriately, then only it will be afloat. So in terms of a relative density, if the relative density of a substance is less than 1, the relative density of the substance should be less than 1 if it needs to float. And if the substance is having the relative density greater than 1, it will sink in the water. Okay? Deal with. And how come this is happening? This is the reason why the human swimmers, the fishes, ships and icebergs are staying afloat. This is the reason. Okay? And the proper phenomena is called as buoyancy. Now, in case of the fishes, I will be calling. So basically, there is a special organ called as swim bladder, gas bladder, fish mouth or air bladder. All of them are one of the same thing. What is that? It is an internal gas filled organ that contributes to the ability of many bony fishes. But do remember one thing, not the cartilaginous fishes. So it is the wholly and solely characteristic of teleost only and not the elasmobranch. Swim bladder is wholly and solely present only in the bony fishes or what we call as teleost to control their buoyancy. And thus to stay at their current water depth. Without wasting energy in the swimming. So it will be cool and calm, and they are not using energy at all, but still they are staying at their water depth. Okay? And if I am dealing with the anatomy, the swim bladder is basically evolutionary homologous to lungs. And who told you this? It was Charles Darwin. He remarked upon this on the Origin of Species, one of the most renowned books of all time. It's called as Origin of Species. This was a theory which was put forwarded by none other than Charles Darwin. Now dealing with the structure of the swim bladder. So here you are observing that this one is the swim bladder. Okay, deal with. This is the dorsal aorta, this is the hepatic portal vein, this one is the hepatic portal vein, and this is the dorsal aorta. Deal with the case. Okay, these are called as the gas glands and all. Okay, so basically in case of here, the swim bladder normally consists of two gas filled sacs which are located in the dorsal portion of the fish, which means front portion of the fish. Okay, in the dorsal portion of the fish. So the swim bladder is two gas filled sacs which are located in the dorsal portion of the fish, and by adjusting the gas pressurizing organ, using the gas gland or oval window, the fish can obtain neutral buoyancy. The fish can obtain neutral buoyancy, and depending on the situation, it can ascend as well and it can descend as well to a large range of depth. So due to the dorsal position, it gives the fish lateral stability. Hopefully you do know, but somehow I'm very bad at drawing, but still I'll drawing here. This is a fish for me. Okay, this will be like its eye. So this will be the lateral position. I'm again drawing with a highlighter. This one will be the lateral position. So here, due to the dorsal position, it gives the fish the lateral stability. Because the air bladder or the swim bladder is present on the dorsal positions, ultimately it will be giving the fish the lateral stability, and with the help of that, it can go ascend as well, it can go descend as well, up to a large range of depths. So please deal with the cases. This was all about the buoyancy. Okay, the buoyancy. Done? Okay. Now, hopefully this lecture series have been beneficial for you guys. Please do subscribe, do comments, do like, share our videos with your friends as well. Especially those friends who are preparing for the competitive exam, regardless of their origin, whatever they are preparing. If they are either they are preparing for the NEET as well, either they are preparing for the CSIR Life Sciences, or they are preparing for the Maharashtra Life Sciences or any other life sciences of the states. Deal with the cases. Caring is sharing. Okay, deal with. Thank you very much, guys.